I will explain how to create a model of a bathroom heater with a clean topology in Blender. I like to share something. In my Gumroad page you can buy my products. You can buy this product in CG Trader. I'm working as freelancer. If you need interior scene, or 3 assets, you can contact me in Fiverr. I will model it. When changing the shading to matcap, you will be presented with numerous options from which I have chosen this one. Begin by adding a circle and adjusting the vertex count to 64 in the pop-up menu. Increase the selection by pressing Ctrl+ key on the selected vertex. The current vertex count is 17. You can see here. Press Shift+S cursor to the selection. Change the pivot point to the 3D cursor and then box select these vertices. Flatten it by pressing SX0 and extrude the vertex accordingly. Continue to extrude the vertex up to a certain point. These vertex count as 15, so add 15 loop cuts here. Fill the faces up to the selected vertices by pressing F after selecting the 2 vertices. Repeat the same process on the other side to fill the faces. Choose the faces, insert them, and ensure that the Loop Tools add-on is enabled. Next, right-click, Loop Tools and select Circle to change the shape into a circle. Change the pivot point to individual origin, slightly decrease the scale, and then delete the faces. Enable the Auto Merge Vertices feature. Press the G twice to move this vertex here, causing the 2 vertices to join together as one. Repeat this process for all 3 corner vertices in this area. First, divide this vertex into 2 sides. Next, slightly adjust the position of the vertex. Increase the number of loop cuts to create uniform geometry. Choose all the elements and then extrude them vertically. Next, choose this particular face while holding down the Ctrl key, and also select in between faces. Then extrude them slightly upward. Then add loop cuts. Go to the Select menu and choose Sharp Edges. This will highlight sharp edges. Next, bevel these edges and change this option arc. Choose the lower edges now. Next, extrude it out and adjust its size. Next, in the looping tools, select the circle option, then decrease the size and make any necessary adjustments. Choose these faces, change this to circular shape. Decrease the size and rotate it, remove those faces, then extrude edges, extrude these faces upward. Pick these face, right-click, press Alt-E, loops to join those faces. Let's see how many vertices are present in this section. There are a total of 5 vertices, so we need to add 5 loop cuts here. Next, select those vertices and connect the edge, repeating the process on the other side. Then, select these vertex here and press F to fill. Do the same for all other sides. We will separate it to allow for rotation if needed. Choose these edges, then press Ctrl+E and mark seams. I will now add the subdivision modifier by pressing Ctrl+3 to set the subdivision modifier value to 3. To select a face, hover your mouse over it and press the letter L. Press P to separate the selection into a new object. First, choose the edges and slight bevel on them. Next, add multiple loop cuts to ensure the geometry is consistent. Then, select 2 vertices and connect them by pressing J. Repeat this process for other vertices as well. If you notice that the geometry in the corner doesn't look right, the issue may be with these particular faces. In this case, delete those faces located below. Next, you will need to right-click on the item and select Origin to Geometry. After doing so, you will be able to rotate the item. Change the pivot point to the median point, then select all and press SZ-1 to invert it. The shades of these faces appear different due to the normals. To correct this, choose the faces, press Alt-N, and recalculate the inside. Alternatively, you can delete the faces if you do not need to show the inside. Extrude these edges upward, followed by extruding and scaling them inward. Next, use the shortcut Ctrl+F for grid fill to fill in the faces, then add some loop cuts before beveling these 2 edges. Proceed by adding 2 loop cuts and beveling them, then slightly extrude them inward, and finally, press Alt-E to extrude along the normals. First, choose these edges. Next, slight bevel. Next, bevel the edges to create more defined edges. Duplicate these edges by using the Shift D command, then slightly scale them and extrude them downwards. Repeat the process by extruding, scaling, and bringing the edges downwards slightly. Continue to extrude, scale, and bring the edges downwards. Press the letter L to choose these loose parts. Use the Shift and H keys to hide faces that are not selected. For this, select the border faces and apply a bevel. Next, insert some loop cuts to create a square face shape. Pick these edges and move the cursor to this location. Switch to Object Mode and bring the cylinder. Decrease the number of vertices to 8 in the pop-up menu, and then decrease the scale. After moving the cursor to this location, proceed by pressing Shift-A, Curve, Path. Increase the depth in the object data properties first. Next, add a plane and position it in this location. Now choose these two vertices and subdivide them, then move these vertices to this location. Firstly, start by selecting these loose parts by pressing L, and press P, selection to separate it. Choose these 3 items duplicate, and position them in this location. I hope this video will assist you in learning something new in Blender. Subscribe to my channel to learn more in Blender.